Welcome, everybody, to episode 68 of Disney with the Ducks. Tonight, you've got John Crawl with you, and I've got some of my favorite other ducks as well with me tonight. We've got Mean Gene.
Hello.
We've got Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
We've got Kevin with us.
Hey, everybody.
And last but not least, we've got Lonnie.
Greetings and salutations.
All right. So tonight we've got a fun show planned. But first, we just want to talk through some questions to get to know each other and let our listeners kind of get some insight into our lives. So tonight, we just want to know, what TV series are you guys either just starting or something you're in the middle of watching that you're really enjoying? Lonnie, you want to go first?
Sure. So I just finished. I binged all of the episodes in one day. Jack Ryan on Amazon. The latest season, and man, it was really good. Great season. I mean, it keeps building, it gets better and better. I'm sad to say that next season they announced the start. I think it's going to come out in June, and that's be the last season. So enjoy it while you can, but it's a great series.
So Lonnie, did that just come out this week?
No, it came out. I went back and watched season 3, so I was about 3 months behind. Gene knows I like to wait for a while and then just binge something, right? So it was on my list, and I came up and I said, you know what? It was a rainy day, so I watched all 8 hours of it in one day.
Saved it for a rainy day. I like
Saved
that.
it for a rainy day. Gene knows
Nice.
what I do.
Okay. Yeah.
What's that about? I've not watched that. What's
Amazing.
it? It's like Tom Clancy.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
is, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So have you seen like Patriot Games and the Harrison Ford, Jack Ryan movies? So yeah, it's like a
Hunt for the Red
prequel to
October.
that. Yes.
Okay.
Some of All Fears, right?
Mhm,
That one
yeah.
had Ben Affleck. But no, I think John Krasinski is an amazing Jack Ryan. I hope they do like movies off of that, because I love that show too.
Yeah, I hope they do.
I love
movies
the
off
books
of
back in the late 80s, early 90s,
Mhm.
and probably early 90s. And I loved all the movies. It was interesting, the different actors that have played Jack Ryan: Harrison Ford,
Was it Alec
Ben
Baldwin?
Affleck, Chris Pine. Say again?
Was it one of the Baldwins at one
Yeah.
point?
Alec Baldwin
Yeah.
was the first one.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he played him in the Hunt for the Red October.
Yeah, he was in a
Oh,
submarine
yeah.
movie. Yeah,
Mhm.
Man, that was a good movie too.
it
Yeah,
was.
for sure.
All right, Lonnie. Yeah, I'm really excited. I didn't realize the new season hasn't come out yet, but I need to watch that as soon as it drops, because
It's in June.
okay.
I tell you, man, I just wish he would got the role of Mr. Fantastic. I mean,
I know.
it's I think he did good on Doctor Strange as that. I think he would have been perfect for that, but I don't know if he's gotten it actually. I think they're kind of leaning to another person. At least what I heard.
Yeah.
But I like John Krasinski.
Did you see him on 13 Hours, the movie about Benghazi?
Yeah, that's good.
He was so good in that too. Oh, it's like, it's not really a similar role to Jack Ryan, but it's like a military movie, and it's about the raid on Benghazi, and it's really, really good, especially if you
check that one out.
like him.
Yeah.
But man, yeah, and he used to do that. What is it? Some Good News, that show on YouTube.
Yeah, doing the Great Unpleasantness. That was pretty cool too.
It was awesome.
Yeah, his he was what's that movie with him and his wife was in it? When you couldn't make a sound.
Yeah, Quiet Place.
A
Yeah.
Quiet
Oh,
Place.
Quiet Place.
So they're about to drop the Quiet Place 3.
Ooh.
But he's not in this one. They're actually gonna have it in New York. So a whole different perspective, right? So I'm looking forward to that.
Y'all have all seen that movie?
He's really talented, man. You go back and you look at The Office, and from there to he gets in every role. So he's pretty good.
Actor.
Yeah, and if you ever hear him on like a podcast or something, he sounds like a really cool guy too.
Yeah.
Like he's one of my many man crushes. So
His best role was when he played what's that guy's name? Park, the guy that plays Agent, what's his name on the Marvel movies on Ant-Man. He played in Fresh Off the Boat. The guy's last name is Park.
Oh yeah, I can't.
Yeah, he
remember.
played him. He played him on The
played
Office
him.
one episode.
oh yes, he did. Asian Jim, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That was, I just saw that on TikTok the other day too, and I forgot how funny that episode
Jim's
was.
best role.
Yeah, and when Pam comes over and like gives him a kiss,
I know. That is so great.
every time I see it, I know what's coming. I still lose it. Oh man! All right, Kevin, what are you watching now?
So finished watching Mandalorian another time all the way through, and so pretty much watching that. I'm in the middle of watching Andor again now, so I just finished with my second run through of Mandalorian season 3, and now going back through and watching Andor again. I really like Andor. The second time around, it's been even better than the first for me.
I really like that series too. I thought it was great.
I like it.
I can't believe you'd only watched it once.
Gene's disappointment comes through.
I'm a little disappointed in you, Kevin.
There's so much Star Wars content; it's hard to keep up nowadays. I mean, there's a lot out there. It really is.
Yeah. There is, and I still haven't watched Mandalorian.
I'm not
season 3
complaining.
yet.
I think it's great.
Wait, hold on. What did you say, John?
I haven't had time. I haven't even watched Ted Lasso. Ugh.
No,
So,
you said something about the Mandalorian.
I haven't seen it yet.
What?
Season 3. I've seen 1 and 2. I haven't had time.
Yeah.
And by the time my kids go to bed and stuff, it's late, and then I'm tired, and I fall asleep halfway into a show.
Well, that is a frustrating thing when you're trying to
Lost all
catch up on a
respect.
show and you fall asleep halfway through and you got to start it
Right.
all over. It's
Yeah,
like,
and-
what did I miss? And it's like, did I dream that or was it real?
Right. That's the thing. You don't know what actually happened. So
Yeah.
But
you
yeah.
start in a place, you're like, well, I hadn't seen this, and you get 30 minutes in, you're like, oh, I did see this part.
Yeah. Oh, I know what
You fell asleep and
happens.
Woke up.
Yeah.
Right.
Usually I have to tell Gene, I said, dude, you're sleeping. Turn the iPad off. He's like, I'm not sleeping. And literally he's
Oh, yeah.
he's like rewinding a little bit, start working. I'm
You're
like,
watching Clone Wars and you got through like 6 episodes and I'm like, you might have been awake for 2.
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
Gene, man. We laugh
That's
at
me.
it. He does it.
Yeah.
That's funny. Jeff, what's going on? What are you watching?
We just finished the Muppets Electric Mayhem on Disney Plus. Really like that series. We just finished Trader, which is a reality TV show. Kind of reminded me of The Mole that used to be on here a while ago. Me and Ryan like that one. And we just started watching Citadel. It's on Amazon Prime. It's kind of like a Mission Impossible kind of show with Priyanka Chopra. So anything with her and it's going to catch my attention. So we'll watch that. And so far, so good.
Awesome. All right. Gene, what are you watching?
Yeah, man, I'm in the middle of several different things. I fell asleep the other night in Succession, and so the latest episode of that I'm not caught up on. The last thing he told me, which is on Apple, which is Jennifer Garner, and Christy read the book, but it's good. It's kind of a thriller. I haven't watched the latest episode of that, but I saw advertised this show, Fatal Attraction. It's kind of a remake on Paramount Plus of the movie. It's a series. And I understood Lonnie's pain at this point because I thought the whole thing was out and I started watching it and I got through like 4.5 episodes and I realized that this is not going to be finished. And it was the last episode that had been out. And so I got a little, I was like, I get it, Lonnie. I'm going to give him maybe in this instance a little bit of slack.
Whoa!
But it
I want
really
to
good.
my head.
Yeah, please don't. Don't mistake my kindness for weakness, please. Fatal Attraction is really good. It's I never saw the first one. My wife and I were talking about it the other day. Lonnie and I were talking about this. I never saw the first one. I know it's kind of a classic. I don't know how old I was when it came out. Really young, I'm sure. And my parents wouldn't let me watch movies like that, so I never saw it. But it's kind of a psychological sort of thriller. It's really good. Anybody else watch it? Any of y'all? No. But it's good. Also, Clone Wars. I'm watching Clone Wars for like the 4th time. I'm in the 3rd season, and I'll just when I'm bored, with everything else, I'm just kind of I don't want to watch this or I don't want to watch that. I just turn on Clone Wars. I wake up early, watch an episode of Clone Wars, and just I'm plugging through Clone Wars and then Rebels before Ahsoka starts in August.
That's a good take. Yeah, because Ahsoka's going to start in August, I guess.
Yeah.
There's one podcast that I've listened to that they're doing a rewatch of all of Rebels.
Yeah. Is it
And
Children to Watch?
Yeah, it is.
I listened to that one too.
And that's pretty cool because they're kind of talking through all the episodes as they move forward between now and then. Yeah.
Gene doesn't listen to our podcast. We listen to other ones. What you guys don't know about me and Gene, we talk like several times a day. So when he told me he was watching Fatal Attraction, I'm like, dude, does the girl have a bunny? And he didn't know what
I did know about the bunny. I did know about the bunny, but
what you mean? I'm like, dude, the bunny. And he's like, nah, she had a bunny. And I'm like, all right, you know what? I just wait for it to catch up.
I did know about the bunny. Also, Narcos, which I like Pedro Pascal, obviously because of The Mandalorian. I'd watched him in The Kingsman and The Mandalorian, and then Narcos. It came out a while back, but I watched the first season. I got into the second season, and then I picked up on some other stuff. But I'll go back to Narcos here at some point. But it's really good too. And I didn't really know the whole story of Pablo Escobar. I knew it at a very high level, but it's really interesting. All the corruption, all the things that dude got away with.
Hey, Gene, I know I'm not your dad, but I think you're at the age now, as long as you close your eyes through part of the movie, you can watch Fatal Attraction.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You have my permission.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, man.
That's awesome.
My dad's not around anymore, so I needed somebody to tell me that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I'm going to say this, and I told this to Gene as well. I'm going to give a warning to all of our male listeners out there. If your girlfriend watches The Mandalorian and say The Last of Us, that's not your girlfriend. That's Pedro's girlfriend. So just
That's right. That's right.
The Last of Us is so good, though.
Oh yeah, and now
yes.
I'm like, I want the next season to come out because I love that show, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Now I wish I hadn't played because after watching the show, I went back and played the video game. I never played it before, and then I played the part 2 of the video game, and so now you kind of know where the story's going to go. And now I wish I hadn't have done that.
I'm glad I only played part 1 of the video game because I'm like right where the show is, so I'm good. So right now I'm trying to start the new season of Ted Lasso. I think I've got pretty much caught up on that over the last couple of weeks. I still have to watch Mandalorian season 3. But we all know I have a million children, right? So Bluey is on 24 hours a day in my house, and I probably watch at least 5 episodes a day. Try to make sure at least one of those is Smoochie Kiss and one is Unicourse because those are 2 of the best. But yeah, I binge that every day.
So John, you said that's your 2 favorites. So I think my favorites are Ice Cream Ragdoll is the name of it. Remember when they were supposed to go get some ice cream and he, said you got to get me there and all that kind of good stuff. And I do like the one with the seesaw too. So yeah, we keep Bluey on all the time as well.
Yeah, they're so good. And honestly, like I really do think it helps me be a better dad because it gives you these ideas of like just how to interact with the kids a little bit better or have some more play. Like Daddy Robot. We'll do that throughout the day.
Yeah.
The kids are like, Daddy Robot. And I'm like, Daddy Robot is doing dishes. Just stuff like that. And it's just fun.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
Can we just make sure our listeners know that John watches Bluey because he has 5 kids from 13 to a 2-year-old. Lonnie's youngest just graduated college and he watches Bluey.
Hey. I watch it because my grandson is here.
Right.
That's why. I like how you try to make me like I'm some kind of weirdo, but that's okay.
I mean, I'll admit I like Bluey more than my kids do, I think, at this point, to be honest. But
I mean, who doesn't like Smoochie Kiss?
Oh, that's about. I was telling someone the other day that would be like a video of in my house. Like that's just how our kids were. They're like, "Yeah, what are you doing?" Trying to keep us apart. So, yeah, it's funny because it's true. All right. So let's get into tonight's topic, though. We're going to talk about overrated and underrated. Last week we did the restaurants. Tonight we're going to talk about parks or the park attractions and shows. So I think we kind of worked out well last week doing the negative first and then switching over to do positive. So that's what I was thinking of doing tonight was let's talk about the overrated attractions and shows, and then we'll flip sides and get on to the fun stuff that we really like and talk about some of the things we think need a little bit more love. All right, so starting with overrated, last week it seemed to work out well going park to park. So let's start in Magic Kingdom. There's a lot of rides in Magic Kingdom, and a lot of them are very highly touted. So, Gene, what are you thinking as overrated in Magic Kingdom?
Man,
you got any?
I'm gonna get a little heat for this probably, but I think Pirates of the Caribbean is just a little overrated.
Whoa!
Whoever has control, mute him.
Who hurt you?
I mean, it's just
Huh. Okay.
I don't think they're chasing winches anymore, so that's why.
That's true. Yeah. So what? I don't know, because it's just it is kind of cheesy and kitschy and that type of thing. But to me, it just works. I don't know. I love the music. I love the weird smell, everything.
That ride screams Adventureland to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't walk through there, and you got to go. It's
like I said, I knew I would get a little bit of hate, but that's hey.
Not a little
okay.
bit. You're going to get a lot of hate.
Oh, that's a hot take. That is a hot take.
Hot take.
Ah. All right.
You asked.
I did, and
Should have
now I
called me
regret
first.
that. Yep. No. Lesson learned. Life's all about growing and evolving.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right.
Lonnie, what do you think is overrated over there in Magic Kingdom?
So I'm gonna go because of the wait times it usually has, and that's gonna be, and I may get some hate for this as well, but Peter Pan's Flight.
That was mine.
That was on mine
That
too.
was my number one.
Yeah, I mean, we waited the first time. You wait all this time. We got on there, and I'm riding. I was like, "This is it." So yeah,
Yeah,
I think definitely.
yeah. And somebody always has to ride it though. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always
somebody.
my kids. Oh, wait, who's the somebody?
I mean,
Lonnie?
it's one of the originals, but still, I mean,
Yeah.
No, it's not that cool.
No, it's not cool. It's not
It's
at
better
all.
now with the queue being redone, so it's at least a little interactive and it gives you something to look at through there.
The
But
queue is better than the ride.
it is.
And
You
that's
have
the
the
problem.
shadows.
Yeah, when the kid is better than ride, that's a problem.
Yeah. So okay,
I
I'm
agree
glad. I
completely.
thought I was going to be getting a lot of hate for that one, but I'm glad there's a lot of us that
I changed my answer. My answer is Peter Pan too. Because Lonnie always makes me ride it with him.
I don't. Not all the time. I think we was walking by and he had like a no wait. I said, let's just hop on this. We were waiting. I mean, no.
Yeah.
Come
He bought a lightning lane for it.
on.
Well, that's the only way I'll go on it, because if my kids really want to, the only way they're getting on it is like Lightning Lane, because I'm not waiting in that line. It's usually like an hour and a half.
Yeah, and I don't know
Just
why.
to go
I've been wanting
5
to
feet
walk
over these
by
little
and say,
miniature-
Get out of this line.
Between that and having to meet Gaston, that's enough for me, with
Yeah.
Lonnie.
Yeah. Well, Gaston's got the muscles.
And best cinema rules.
Those are fighting
Well,
words there.
Yeah. Jeff's gonna kill you.
Not the
You guys are
hell
gonna have
I'm
to
not
battle it
on
out. No, but they have LeFou's brew there, which is delicious. Now that's pretty good. I mean, it's no butter beer, but it's good. All right, Kevin, what do you think? Got any overrated ones?
Well, like Lonnie, I had Peter Pan at the top of my list. I think if I had to pick another one, it would probably be Aladdin Magic Carpets, just because it's so much like Dumbo. I mean,
Man,
I could probably if I could ride one and not the other every time. I wouldn't have to ride them both.
So that's interesting though that you say that way, because I actually had that on my underrated list because I enjoy it and I like Aladdin. I know it's like a canned ride that they didn't really have to do much modification to, and it is, you're right, it's similar to Dumbo, but something about it, I don't know, I just enjoy it. I don't know if it's like the camel spitting and stuff or what.
That is a cool addition. I like where it is right there next to the Dole Whip booth and all. So I mean, it's got a good location. It's not that I don't like it. It's just I had to pick one. So,
Okay, interesting. All right, that's fair. Jeff, what about you? What do you got?
Peter Pan was my number one, but my close second is the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I think the line is so long for that ride, for as short as it is. I think the setup's nice. It's a good dark ride. It's got some cool things to it, but I think it's too short of a mini coaster to warrant the line that it has, and it's a close second to Peter Pan for me.
That's interesting.
Right. Just over 2 minutes. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, if you had a lightning lane, I think it's worth it. But to Jeff's point, that line is always crazy, and people book to it at rope drop, right? So it's always long. It's just crazy.
The thing about it for me though is that it's a fun coaster that's not too scary for my kids' ages. So that's the only reason why I think I enjoy it so much, is I know like Carly, my 7-year-old, that and like Slinky Dog are basically her limit.
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But I will say I do love the video that they send you
Yes.
from the picture.
that is
that
cool.
to me is one of the coolest parts of that ride.
The only saving grace, I think, to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is asking a cast member to show you the cricket. the little statue cricket they have hidden behind the. So that's pretty cool to see.
I didn't know about this.
You have to ask. You can't see it from normal queue, but if you ask, they'll get a flashlight and they'll show you where it is.
That's
Because
awesome.
apparently, when they were building the ride, apparently there was a cricket that was always there. They hear it chirping nonstop, so they made a little stone cricket and put it up in the rafters behind the ride on the castle side.
That's
Cool.
really cool. I'm gonna have to do that next time we go.
Yep.
Man. I'm surprised nobody's mentioned my other one. So I had, like we talked about, I had Peter Pan as well, but my other one is Space Mountain. All it does is screw up my back. I'm too big for it anyway. I mean, I think if you're over like 5'11", you can't go on that thing because your knees are like up here, and then it's like, and I think my head's gonna get taken off by
I know.
like all the crossbars and stuff. So I don't get it with that ride. I never feel good coming off of it, and the line is always so long. So yeah.
I mean, that line is the master of the switchback, which is one thing I hate about it, because you think you're good, but when you get inside before you're bored and you see like a million other people, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll go on it still, but I'll only go on it if I have like no wait somehow, either late at night or lightning lane happens to be open, whatever. But yeah, it's just my chiropractor likes it when I go on it, but I don't. Okay. So any other ones for Magic Kingdom that, as we were talking, you guys thought of or anything? Okay. All right. Let's go on to Hollywood Studios. I know I'm going to get hate for this one, so I'll just throw it out there first. I'm going with Toy Story Mania because here's the thing. I enjoy the ride. It's fine. But like you can go on Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. It's similar. And my forearm starts to get tired from pulling on that string the whole time. You know, you're like...
Wait, do that again, John? I didn't see it.
You should do exercises at home before you go.
Well, you should, yeah. You got to work up forearm strength. But yeah, I get tired by the end. And then usually I have a kid next to me as I'm trying to like actually score points and win. And they're like, Daddy, look at this. And you don't want to ignore your kid trying to point something cute out. So all of a sudden, you know, you're firing up over there while you're like, oh yeah, that's great. So I think that one, and honestly, the line is always so long and stuff. It's just that's my one because we had to pick one anyway. Like I said, I do enjoy it. I just think it's rated up here. You know, it's rated 5 stars. It should be a 3. So yeah, I know what I said, and I said what I said.
Man, I don't know, man. That's hard.
This is gonna get me more hate than my Up take.
It will.
My take on Up, yeah.
Up and your take on what's the other one that you got a lot of hate
Wall-E.
on? Oh, Wall-E.
Oh yeah, Wall-E. Yeah, well, they're both terrible movies, so I mean, you know. All right, so Jeff, what do you think's overrated?
Well, if you're talking about people getting hate and staying in Toy Story Land, I'm going to say Slinky Dog's overrated.
No,
Man,
we
we smoking crack.
I move to vote to evict Jeff from the podcast.
It's a long line. It's always a long line. There is no shade anywhere in that line. And you're just the sun's just beating down on you. It's a fun coaster. But it's not worth the line and the time to wait in line for the 2-minute ride.
What?
That is like the smoothest coaster. I know, but
Yes.
you have really good rationale because you're right. It's like the surface of the sun when you're waiting for that bad boy in the middle of the day. So I understand that. But man,
so we don't
like
know that the
coaster,
sun
man.
shines in Florida now? Come on.
The
You gotta
Imagineers
prepare
did
for that.
too, and they put no shade when they
ahead.
built it. Put that thing in a dome or inside queue.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, your points with the engineering and design of it, are valid, but your take on the ride itself is not.
That makes me not like the ride. If I have to wait for 2 hours to even get on the ride and I lose 40 pounds in sweat, it's not worth it to me.
Okay.
The
Okay,
only-
that's a fair point.
the only
I think
good
maybe
time
that's a
was-
different discussion, though, is it worth the wait versus is it over or underrated? Because I think the ride itself, if you take out the queue, the rating on the ride, I mean, I think it's pretty highly
It's
rated.
all part of the attraction, though. It's all.
Fair
I mean, we
point.
rated Peter Pan's queue along with the ride. So
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Fair
It's true.
point. We'll accept your logic. Kevin, what about you? What do you think is overrated over there?
I've never ridden it, and I can't really put it there. But Tower of Terror, because all it relies on is gravity. But I can't really say that I can go against Tower of Terror. So my pick will be Rock and Roller Coaster. Because when I ride that and I come off of it, I just don't feel good at all.
well.
I feel bad. I feel so bad, and I'm like, why did I do that?
Because it's
I'm
such
too
a
old
fun
for
ride.
this.
Well, I guess
It
we
is.
know what your Epcot one's going to be. Because
I know, right?
No, you'd be surprised. No, it's
Oh
yeah.
man.
I think I had picked that.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, because I really like that. I feel like it's pretty smooth for the most part, and it's fast. And I mean,
I used to
anytime
love
you get
it.
to listen to Aerosmith.
I just can't handle it. I love Aerosmith. I just can't handle it anymore.
Man. Huh. Okay.
Could use a good retheming.
Oh, I mean,
if it was an X-wing kind of thing, then I would ride it till I was sick.
we talked about that on the
We
on one of the
did.
Imagineering shows.
We
Yeah,
did.
Kevin, I think you came
Yeah.
up. You or Gene, one of you guys came up with that design.
Yeah.
I just want him to throw Foo Fighters songs over it, and
That wouldn't be
call
bad
it a day.
either.
Yeah. All right, Lonnie, what do you think's overrated?
I'm going to go with the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular as being overrated. So I'm going with a show. Yeah, I mean, it just needs to be spruced up. It's fun the first couple of times, but after that, you're piling in. They kind of pack you in that bad boy, and it's a break from the heat, but still, you're like, yeah. There's other things I prefer to be doing than watching this show now. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Indiana Jones.
I wonder if Dial of Destiny they'll do anything after that. If they'll try to
Oh,
beat
would be
it up.
They didn't do it after the last, the
well, because Crystal
Skull.
Skull was
Well,
like
if this-
terrible.
After Crystal Skull, nobody probably would go.
Yeah,
that
that's the
was
one you
not
just
so
sweep
good.
under the rug and call it a loss and move on.
Yeah, this is the fourth movie coming out now, Gene.
This one's gonna be good.
Yes. Yeah, it better be.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see here. I think about a month or two, right? Sometime.
Yeah,
this
end
year.
of June.
None in a June.
End of June.
Nice.
Oh,
A month. So yeah, not even a month from when you hear this,
Yeah.
because you'll hear us in the future.
Time travel.
But we'll be your past. That's
Scooby Doo time travel.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Lonnie, did you give yours?
Gene's turn.
Oh yeah. All right,
My
Gene.
turn?
Yeah.
I'm going to get hate for this one too. So we're in Hollywood, right? Just
Yep.
want to make sure we're in the right place. So it just breaks on me all the time, and it's the same thing as 3 other new rides. But I love the scenery, but Rise of the Resistance is just the ride itself is just kind of meh.
Inconsistent.
Man, we gonna fight as soon as we see.
And look, dude, watch the Clone Wars and then come back and talk to me if you want to act like a real Star Wars fan. But so it's just I've been on it twice where it's broke.
Yeah.
We gotta,
We had
Kevin and I saw stormtroopers and resistance fighters smoking cigarettes together, hand in hand, living in perfect harmony. We saw behind the curtain. It's not real.
That's what you get for leaving me in the room dying. So you and Kevin can run into Hollywood Studios when I was fighting for my life. So that's what you get.
Is that the same day you guys shared the hot dog?
It is the same day.
Your hamburger.
Wow. So you guys were all over the place.
And the shake, yeah,
Shared-
same day.
We shared a seat in the drive-in.
The 2
We
straws
did.
and everything, just to rub it in with Lonnie.
It's
Terrible
right.
friends.
I'm in back in the room knocking on heaven's door, and they out there sharing hot dogs and drinking a shake out of 2 straws and sitting in the back of a car doing whatever you do back there. I don't know. And
Yeah. So yeah, you guys did that to your friend Lonnie. I cannot.
That's exactly what we did.
But no, Gene, I kind of feel like you're not wrong,
I'm
because
not.
it's cool, but I don't even know if I like waiting or going and spending the 20 minutes that the ride is, committing to that, right? But
I'll ride it next time I go, but I'm just saying. It's
I will
overrated.
too. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll always ride it.
Yeah.
But I get your point.
Yeah. Okay. That's a hot take, but
It's
it
like the
sounds
Millennium Falcon's hyperdrive. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
you can't really count on it.
I love it. I love the references you bring in. All right. So now let's go over to Animal Kingdom and talk about any rated rides there. So Kevin, why don't you give us yours first?
So mine would be probably along the same lines as Magic Kingdom with Triceratops spin being a lot like Dumbo again. I mean, at least with Aladdin, they spiced it up a little bit, having the camel. But in that one, it just doesn't do it. I mean, honestly, whenever I go to Animal Kingdom, I don't even go in that area. So I almost think that whole wing of the park is just, unless it's we need something to do and we have to go over there. But you know, that's kind of where I'm at. It's okay.
Jeff, what is your overrated one?
You're not gonna like me, John. I think the safari is overrated.
I will cut you.
If you go right in the morning, it's okay because stuff's active. If any time after like 10 o'clock because it's so hot, the animals are just laying there. They're like, is that really a zebra? If you ride it in the afternoon or evening, it's not the
Do you
experience.
think it's animatronics like the
It could
birds?
be. I think they pipe it in. I think they're holograms.
Okay.
Jeff, when was the last time you were driving around your neighborhood and a giraffe was 4 feet from you, licking the leaves off of a tree branch, and someone explaining to you about how their tongue works and like they grip it and they just
I was like, where's this rabbit hole
No,
going?
okay.
Yeah, I was
So,
like,
yeah,
this is going into dark
No.
territory right here.
the way giraffes can like rip leaves off of branches and stuff is pretty cool, and they explain all that to you and all this stuff. You don't you get that at home?
I have that about 20 minutes from my house, John. It's called the Wilds. It's in Zanesville. They had a big escape of all their animals a couple years ago. You might have saw it on the news. But yes, we have this.
This sounds like a Tiger King type situation.
Look it up. Animals escape in Zanesville. It happened. It was probably about 5 or
That's
6
not
years
real.
ago. They were running down the freeway.
Wow.
It's a thing. But yes, we have that
Wow.
near us.
It's not the same. They don't put the care into the detail that the Imagineers do.
And I said it's fine in the mornings, but in the afternoons when
Better
it's
than
hot,
fine. It's amazing.
It's the only ride at Disney that changes every time you're there. Every time it's
Yeah.
different. You can get off and get right back on and be completely different because the leopard moved over an inch or two or rolled over on his back. It could be anything, right?
Okay,
So
Or like-
Sometimes Rise works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you
Yeah.
see stormtroopers and resistance fighters smoking cigarettes together in the out back. Sometimes you don't. That's different too. It's not the only one that's different, Lonnie.
Well, and like
Star
sometimes
Wars.
the rhinos like block the path. How many
Yes.
times has your car been stopped by a rhino, Jeff? I would guess very few.
and how many
Maybe
times,
one.
Gene, have you seen stormtroopers smoking a doobie in the back? One time. That's all.
Once.
They don't do it all the time.
That's an anomaly. That's not a new trend.
Jody
Yeah,
is
I think
never going
that's
to let
frowned,
two
frowned
together.
upon by the Empire or the First
Yeah.
Order rather.
No, we really do need Jody in here to keep us in line.
I'm surprised
Oh.
Gene didn't say the Halcyon or the Galactic Star Cruiser was the overrated. That's probably the thing he's thinking. It's overrated. Yeah,
It is for the price.
Obviously, it was.
Too soon, Lonnie.
Boy. All right. Well, so we know Jeff's. I think mine would be Cali River Rapids. I don't like it. It's not fun. The one time I went on it, I didn't get wet at all. It was just like the whole other side of that tube got soaked. And then there's me. I'm just like, okay, it's 90 degrees. I actually wanted to get some water on me, and instead I sit in the sun for 8 minutes.
It's a very
So,
short ride too.
Yeah, it's just not. It's not great. So I'm going with that one. Gene, what do you think?
I hate to say this. I might get a little bit of hate. Maybe. I don't know. But it's another one that I'm always kind of pulled onto no matter who I go with. And it's Dinosaur.
Oh,
Dude.
so
Eugene.
Dinosaur is another one that my chiropractor really likes when I go on because that thing can mess you up.
Yeah,
Will you
right.
ride
He
Indiana
loves
Jones in January, Gene?
Say again.
Will you ride Indiana Jones in January?
That's different though.
It's not.
I went on that one in like 2011, so I was.
I don't even
much
know what
younger
you're
than
talking
that.
about. So sure, I am.
But the Indiana Jones ride is more like Triceratops spin, so Kevin won't ride that one.
Indiana Jones is like Triceratops spin.
Yeah, the one in Disneyland.
It's
Are
Dinosaur.
you guys are not going to go on a single ride together?
All I know is the guy from CSI when he comes out. I know he's pulling a fast one. And yeah, no.
Horatio Kane? Are we talking about Horatio Kane?
Horatio Kane.
Oh,
Put his glasses on, take them off.
yeah. Oh man. Okay. Lonnie, what about you? What do you think is overrated over there?
So I am gonna give one purely because of the weight for it, but Navi River to
Mhm.
me is overrated because it's always a long wait. The last time I went, I actually did have a lightning lane for it, and we kept bumping the boat in front of us because and it kept stopping, right? Because I guess to try to put as many people on there. So I think it's just yeah, I love the animatronic. I think it's really good, but it is not worth the wait. And usually it's 90 minutes plus each time.
Yeah. My wife and daughter really, that was Katie's favorite ride at Animal Kingdom, and her and Kara did it all the time. They
Mhm.
would just make sure we got fast passes at the time or lightning lane or whatever. But yeah, there's no way I would wait in line for that ride.
Oh,
I
yeah.
usually even just skip it when they go on it because
Yeah.
it's I mean, it's like Frozen, but not as good, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So any hate mail I get for that one, any blue hate mail I get, send it to Gene. He's used to it.
All right. So anybody else, anything else at Animal Kingdom? Okay. All right. Let's move over to Epcot. And let's see. Lonnie, what's your Epcot overrated?
Allow me to consult the scrolls. Okay, so this one is going to kill Kevin, but for me, I think Journey into Imagination with Figment is overrated.
No. How
Oh,
can you think it's overrated?
Man, it needs to have some kind of update. It's just, yeah.
But isn't that part of its
it,
charm, you know?
is it?
Yes.
Is it?
And like how every time you go through there, one of the rooms doesn't work.
yeah.
Jeff just likes it because he gets to go to the top to the DVC lounge. But for everybody else and people who don't have that, it's kind of just
One of my
And-
favorite memories is riding it with John.
I was gonna say that too.
Oh,
It
that's
was,
why
it was just me and
love it.
John in the car.
It's special.
And it was just
to
you
us.
guys too, right? Just the two of you
Yeah.
guys.
Just the
Because
two of
you
us.
probably nobody was in front of you or behind you. 'Cause
No,
nobody
it
usually
was
rides
amazing.
because
I think
It was like
overrated.
Did you ever
an
see the
angel
Tunnel
came
of Love?
down from heaven and gave us that gift of being able to
It's
ride.
kind of it reminds you of the Tunnel of Love.
It did, yeah. And that's when I knew I was in love with Jeff. Was
Do you need
that
us to
moment.
get off the line so you guys can talk?
No, we'll talk
We all
later.
can get
It's
off
fine.
so you come back on when y'all finish sharing your love for each other. I mean, nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying.
But no, it was that I was gonna say that too, Jeff, when you brought that up. Like that was an amazing adventure for us that day.
It was.
Yeah.
Well, maybe because I rode it by myself, so I didn't have that light
not the
coming
same.
down and somebody
Right, yeah.
that's special to me sitting next to me.
When he goes like this and reaches his arm around my shoulder, you know, it's
And then you hear the music. I've had the time of my life.
And then I lift him up in the lake, like in the lagoon or what I don't even know what it's called. But you know, in the middle of Epcot.
I'm gonna tell you, Jody's gonna be so disappointed. That's when she
here's
listens to this episode.
absolutely.
She's gonna be upset.
She's going. There's a reason Jeff wasn't on for 3 months.
Oh man. Oh, sorry, Jody. Oof. Okay. Let's see. So I went. Who? We got Jeff next.
Sure.
Okay.
Overrated in Epcot is Frozen. It's a great ride. It replaced Maelstrom. I kind of like Maelstrom, but the line's too long. And if you get outside the queue and you're actually just waiting in China to ride it, that's not right.
No, and I agree with you, Jeff. That was mine too.
Man, as much as I hate to say it, it was mine too because of those reasons. And it's so hard.
It's still a good ride. It's just
Right.
yeah,
hard to get on because, like you guys said, you either have to run as soon as rope drop or get a lightning lane or something. And I mean, I like it and my family likes it, but yeah, I don't know. It's not,
worth the wait.
yeah, not worth standing there for 90 to 120 minutes.
Right.
All right. Kevin, what is yours?
So mine, I mean, like I was saying, I think Frozen is really there. I mean, some of you may have thought that I would have said Guardians, but I think, I really enjoyed Guardians. I mean, it made me sick, but it's okay. But yeah, I guess if I had to pick another one, maybe Finding Nemo. It was okay. I could take it or leave it.
Yeah, that one I feel like it's that's one where you're in the thing going through, right? Like Ariel,
Yeah.
but not
It's just
as
like
good.
Ariel, 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea, also 20,000 Leagues.
Yeah. So
Same kind of ride.
I'm with you on that one. Because I think the same thing. Gene, what about you at Epcot?
So similar to a previous ride that I shared, this one breaks all the time, and it's perfectly fine. That the visuals are all great, but there are at least two other rides at Disney World that do the exact same thing, and it's Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. It's just same technology, just put some different visuals, and put it in a different park, and it breaks the same.
Yeah, I mean those line following, track cars just seem to break down a lot. But Mickey and Minnie's doesn't seem to break down nearly as much. And and I'm not sure why. Maybe their engineers can figure that out.
But you would think they could go back and put that fix in for the other two rides too, right?
You'd think, right?
Right. You'd think.
Not redoing the whole ride system or anything. So it is weird though. All right. Lonnie, what about you? Did we already?
Yeah, we did one.
Oh, we did. Okay. All right. So any others for Epcot? No. All right. So, okay, now we're done with the negative. Let's get that out of our lives and bring some positive energy in. We'll start talking about what we think is underrated. So we'll go back through the same order. So going to Magic Kingdom, I'll give mine first because this is one I feel very strongly about, is Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. I think it's just such an amazing experience. It's just fun. Yeah. There's like nothing, there's nothing even edgy about it. It's just like solid, corny humor. And I love it. So that one's mine for Magic Kingdom. Gene, what about you?
Man, you took mine. Such a good, such a good attraction. I really enjoy that one. I'd say Mickey's Philharmonic, but I've never seen it.
That's a good reason. Good reason not to.
I was gonna make a lot of jokes about some of these that I hadn't seen.
You're not wrong though.
Yeah, you guys, it's got to be underrated because I've never heard anybody talk about that one and several of the other attractions as much as some of you guys. Happily Ever After. I've got to see it at some point. It's just it weighs. I can't. There's nights I can't even sleep because I'm thinking, how have I gone this far without experiencing that? Whenever John loves it so very much, and so it's just I feel like it's kind of a fail on my part. But back to it. It's hard. I'll tell you, this is hard for me because there's so many things that are good. It's hard for me to say what's necessarily overrated because the stuff is good. But I don't know. I think people sleep on Haunted Mansion sometimes because it's been there for so long. But for me, it's just a tried and true. It's just something that it's nostalgic for me. Even though I didn't, go to Disney World when I was a kid, but it just because it's just it to me it represents Disney and its history and kind of what's always been there. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
sure.
so. And yeah, you're right. it is such a cool ride, and I never went to Disney as a kid either, and I feel that same kind of like connection to it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so Lonnie, what are you thinking is underrated at Magic Kingdom?
I had in my top Monsters Inc. Laugh Factor as well. That's another one I wasn't thinking. The jokes change, right? People text jokes, so that's another one. Every time you go, it's a little different too. But I'm gonna go with something else, and I think we appreciate it, but other people may not. And that's the People Mover. It's one of those rides that's quick to get on. It relaxes and it gives you all the views throughout the best views of the park, right? You see Tron, you go through that, you see the castle, you go into Space Mountain. You go everywhere, right? And it kind of gives you a little bit of history as you see the Walt's vision of what he thought the Epcot would be, right? As it's a big model of that. So I think the People Mover is one of those rides that I can just go on it 4, 5, 6 times. Just it's an awesome ride.
And that's Lonnie, that's a really good point though about like people like us and like the Disney community love that ride, and then nobody else knows it even exists or doesn't waste the time to go on it. And I think that's good because it leaves it with a walk on for us. But yeah, and it's such a great space too, just to sit for a couple minutes and enjoy. There's a nice breeze up there. It's wonderful.
Oh yeah.
All right, awesome. All right, Kevin, what about you? What are you thinking is underrated?
I mean, it may not. A lot of people may not think it's really underrated, but for me, I think it is because I really, really enjoy it, and that's um, Thunder Mountain Railroad. I really enjoy that ride a lot.
Mhm.
I mean, it's kind of back in the back, but it's worth the worth the walk for me. I mean, every single time. It's one that, along with Haunted Mansion, that I always want to ride. And I was like, I don't. One of those things that I just feel like it just makes me think of Walt Disney, with his love for trains, and I love the Wild West and that kind of era of American history and everything. So I just really enjoy that ride. It's got some thrills on it. It's fun. It's a little rickety, but it's not jarring enough to where you can come off of it with a sore neck or back. But I just really like that wooden feel, that wooden roller coaster, and kind of that Western theme. So that's mine.
Yeah. Kevin, that was my second one too. If somebody would have said Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, I was going to use Big Thunder too, because I think same thing. It's so fun, and it doesn't get the attention that Space Mountain even gets, which to me is crazy because it's such a better ride and experience.
Yeah, and it's one of those rides that during the day you could ride it, but at night it has a little bit different, right? You got the bats and stuff, so at night it looks a little different. So it's yeah, I like that ride, Kevin. I agree. It's a good one.
All right, Jeff, what do
You
you think is
know,
underrated?
I was going to say The Riverboat, just because there's a classic narration of the story told by Samuel Clemens as you're taking the little ride around and all the little scenes and stuff that people probably don't even know that are there. But I decided not to say that one. And going along Lonnie's theme of the rides that are just different at night is Astro Orbiter, but at night.
Oh, good
That's
one.
a really good. That's
That
a
one
good
is
one.
really good at night.
Yeah.
But I don't think a lot of people go up there. They'll see it moving and they just don't think to go up to do it. We got up there one time and the ride broke down right before Happily Ever After started. And we were allowed to stand up there and watch Happily Ever After from the top of Astro Orbiter before they put us back down the elevator to close the ride for the night. And it was one of the best views for the fireworks ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
And that one is really cool at night. You're right. I've done it during the day and I just thought, I wouldn't do this.
But at night it's a lot better.
Yeah. You see all the lights and everything. It's amazing. That was a good one. All right. Any others? You guys have any others that you thought of that for Magic Kingdom? Okay. Let's go over to Hollywood Studios then. So let's start with Kevin. What do you think is the most underrated at Hollywood Studios?
Probably because of its proximity, I would say Smuggler's Run. I mean, it's one that if you put it next to Rise, I think I tend to agree. I think it was Gene that said Rise was the most overrated. I kind of, it, and some people look at it and don't think of it as a better ride, but I really think it's a better ride. It's a lot more fun. I mean, you've got a lot of different elements of it. You got the movie accurate interior. You see all the moving parts. You get interaction with Hondo, and it's just I really like the theme, and I really like the way they set it up. It feels like you're in the Falcon. I mean, it's what I've always dreamed of, being able to sit in the cockpit of the Falcon and hit the hyperdrive. I mean, sometimes when you're the engineer, you don't get to do that, but as a pilot or gunner, I mean, it's really cool. So that one, I mean, while it may not be, an underrated ride, for me, I think it's underrated with its proximity to Rise. So
Kevin, I had it on mine too, and I've thought since the beginning, I thought I was a weirdo for thinking that Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run was so much better than Rise, but I love it for those reasons. And you have like the little chessboard, you have everything. It's so cool.
I love it.
And I mean, I really think the technology in there is great. Like you really feel like you're moving, and so overall, I mean, that was mine too for Hollywood Studios. All right, Lonnie, what's your underrated over at Hollywood Studios?
So for me, staying on the Star Wars theme, it's Star Tours. Star Tours, I think, is one of the best rides. I mean, it's one of those rides that you can sit on and watch the movie, but you can also sit on it and enjoy the experience. And it's I think Star Tours is underrated, and I think
That was my
one
second
of the
one.
reasons why is because and you would say that they don't change the themes that often, but I know they're going to change that. They're about to do a redo. I think if Star Tours was in Batu, it'd be a game changer. So maybe Batu needs to discover that portion of the park and incorporate it and say, put a flag on there and say, okay, now you're part of it. I don't know how they can do that, but I think that is one that is, really, to me, underrated. And there's not really a long line to get in there. Everybody runs to Batu. There, I mean, even when I'm with no genie, it's usually 10, 15, 20 minutes, and it moves pretty fast.
It really does. And I'm with you 100%, Lonnie. That was my second too. And whenever I'm in Hollywood Studios and, I'm tired of waiting in a bunch of lines, I'll go over and ride that just, over and over and over. And the cool thing is you never know which one you're going to get. If you'll get the same one every time or a different one. So,
yeah. I mean, there's an
I've
ad
never
out front. Who doesn't love that?
I haven't ridden that in 10 years.
See, it's underrated, man. I need you to go back and ride it, Jeff.
I can't ride it.
It makes you
motion
sick.
sickness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can say that.
No. I like it too, though. When you're walking in, all the droids are there and everything. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Gene, what do you think's underrated over at Hollywood Studios?
So again, it's another hard one because that's Hollywood Studios is my favorite park, and it's got all the good stuff. And so I think that everybody thinks that all the stuff there is good. But I'm going to go with an old school. I mean, I think somebody wanted to reimagine this at some point in one of the shows, but I'm going to go with an oldie but a goodie, and that's Muppet Vision 3D.
Yep. That was my other one too. Because
love the Muppets, man.
It's so fun.
Yep.
It is fun. The kids love it. It's so much fun. The bubbles, all that. It's fun.
Yeah. It's awesome. And then because something like Frozen, which I really like the Frozen sing along, but that gets so much attention and everything, and then nobody goes back to Muppets, which is an awesome show.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's showing its wear. Some
It
of those chairs. That's one of the things. Some of the chairs and stuff like that. So I think hopefully they kind of it needs a little refurb. It needs some love, right? So because you go in there, man, you look at those chairs, and you're like, yeah, these chairs need a lot of bubbles. Right, so.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So Jeff, what do you got for Hollywood Studios?
I was going to say Muppet Vision 3D as well, but my backup to this one is the short films for the little Mickey shorts, the vacation thing. I really like those. You can always get right into those. It has the little cartoon clips for the new style Mickey cartoons. There's the giant potato land, potato out front whenever whenever you leave that you can get a picture with, which is the best new Mickey short there is. So you're good. Keep going. Finish the ice. There you go. All right.
Golly, Gene, can you be any ruder?
But I like the short films. I think it's a nice little air conditioned place to get in, get off your feet for a little bit. And I enjoy the cartoons. I can watch those over and over.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and having a space like that to get out of the heat is
absolutely
pretty solid. All right, so a couple of mine already got said, but I'm going to go with the Disney Junior Dance Party because nobody's brought that one up, but that one is so fun if you have little kids. Obviously, if I'm on a solo trip, me and Jeff, after we come off Figment, we're not going into the Disney Junior Dance Party together without any children with us. That would be creepy. But when I go in with my children, it's so fun because they love it. They know the characters. The music is like upbeat and fun, and the kids are just dancing around, having a great time. So I think that one is aligned with all that many people. So that's going to be mine. All right. So that brings us to Animal Kingdom. Jeff, what do you think is underrated at Animal Kingdom?
Taking the train out to the animation station that they have there and doing the drawings with the animators. I think that is so underrated to sit there and have them work through how to draw the characters. There's never many people back there. I don't even know that most people know that you can do that, but we always love going back there and doing the little drawings and seeing how bad of an artist that I really am.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing until you guys started talking about it. I think you mentioned it on an earlier episode, Jeff. I didn't realize that. So that's really cool. All right. I think for me, I'm gonna say the Feathered Friends in Flight show. It's so fun. Like they have all these exotic birds and they're trained really well, and they have jokes mixed in. And at a few points, birds fly over your head and you can feel the air. It's just, to me, it's something that's really fun. You learn a little bit too at the same time, and you get to see these cool, beautiful birds that you don't get to normally see. So to me, that one I think doesn't really get much attention, but it should, because it's super fun. All right, so Gene, what do you think?
Remind me where we're at, because
Animal Kingdom.
it's a lot here. So I'm going to go. Festival of the Lion King is one of my favorites. I don't know that it's everybody's favorite. I have not yet seen it with the Tumble Monkeys, and I really would like to, since they've come back. But yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
And I've only seen that once. I did really enjoy it, but I can't get my kids to agree to sit through it, which is crazy because it's so entertaining.
And that's what I mean. I mean, it's like everybody you're with might not want to go see that. It's, I think it's a little underrated. It's pretty fantastic. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's
No, it
festive.
definitely is.
It's festive for sure.
It is very festive. And there's lions.
And tigers and bears. Oh my.
Oh my. All right, Lonnie, what do you think is underrated at Animal Kingdom?
So at Animal Kingdom, I'm gonna go with Dinosaur. I think Dinosaur is underrated. I mean, yeah, some of us complain that I make them ride it every time, but I'm trying to get them to just open their minds up to see the greatness of this ride, right? I mean, where else can you go back in history and in time and rescue a dinosaur? Dinosaur, right? So there you go, Dinosaur, love it.
No. Lonnie, it is cool, but God, they got to figure out a way to design that car so that it doesn't
beat you up,
destroy you. Yeah.
Golly.
No, that's part of it, man. If it was all smooth, would you really be going back in time? I mean, they didn't have roads where we were going. We didn't need roads, but they needed roads. So there you go.
So, wow. Okay. So that's part of the experience. The Imagineers were like, you know what?
Bouncing around, speeding up, stopping, part of the experience. That makes it great. Make Dinosaur great again.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, Kevin, where are you going from there in Animal Kingdom?
Like Gene, I had Festival of Lion King on mine too. I think that's one that's underrated. But if I had to pick a second, I would say the safaris, because even though we have a zoo nearby and lots of animals, things like that, we don't have the ability to get that up close and kind of see them moving around and that kind of thing. And like you said, I think I agree with you about being early in the morning. That's when the animals are really moving. When middle of the day, not as much, but I think that one for me, I feel like I really need to ride that when I go to Animal Kingdom. So
yeah. And I've never seen an Okapi anywhere else. Okapi?
Mm-hmm.
So, that, Jeff, does not exist at your local place.
Columbus Zoo has them.
No, they don't.
Jack Hanna brought them in.
Those are holograms.
Not real.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. So we've only got one park left, and it's Epcot. All right, Kevin, what is your underrated attraction at Epcot?
I mean, I've got to go with my favorite, with Figment. I mean, I think it does need an upgrade, but for me, it brings back that's one of the first rides I've ever ridden at any Disney park. I mean, when I was a kid, and that was my one. I was able to pick one souvenir, and my one souvenir from my first Disney trip was a Figment stuffed animal. So, I mean, to me, it gets a lot of hate, but it also gets some love too. So it does need to be spruced up a little bit. But I would be hurt if they ever decide to do something with that, get rid of it. But that's my favorite. So.
Yeah, I think that's another one, like what Lonnie mentioned with the People Mover, where Disney fans love it and everybody else is just kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
So I think that suffers from that a little bit too.
I like the fact that it kind of talks about innovation and that kind of thing, and I think that they could build on that and kind of bring it into the 21st century a little more. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and I think like we talked about when Gene had it, the thing that gets me is every time I'm on it, one of the rooms doesn't work. But I think that's
Yeah.
part of the charm.
Yeah.
It's like the randomness of, oh, today it's the smell lab.
Yeah.
All right. So, Lonnie, what do you think in Epcot is one of the underrated rides?
All right, in Epcot, underrated, I have the 3 caballeros. Oh, I
That's a
didn't
good
say that
one.
right.
Oh,
That's a good one, Lonnie.
Think about it. You don't know it's there unless you go in there, right? And you go into the little pyramid, and you get there. It's never a long line. And I really kind of like the music. I like the ambiance. I like going around at, you can see the, people eating in there, the volcano. You come around, you see them. Love it. What did I just say? What happened, Gene? I see Gene.
No, I mean that's AKA the Three
The
Amigos.
Three Amigos?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great attraction.
Yeah, that's a great one.
yeah. The Three Amigos are amazing, and so are the 3 caballeros.
That's right.
Exactly, Lonnie. Oh man, the plethora of quotable lines from that movie.
Oh yeah.
A plethora. Okay. Anyway, getting back on track, Gene. So you mentioned 3 caballeros, but do you have another one?
I do. I've mentioned this before, but one of my very favorite rides, and not everybody likes it. Not everybody will go on the green side either, and that's Mission Space. See, I mean, I can look at your faces and tell you don't agree. That's okay.
I won't even go on it because I know I'll just throw up.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
I've done it once, and it did me in for the rest of the day. I was done.
Wow. So this is the one. So it spins you around super fast to give you the feeling of the gravity, right?
Yeah.
The increased G's.
Right?
I
The
should
green
have
one
been
doesn't
astronaut.
really do that.
Oh, yeah. Either way, I'm not going on that.
Nope.
No. But Gene, I'm glad you like it, and I hope you get to enjoy it.
I don't think I've ever ridden the easy side. Why are you gonna? Why? No point. I mean, full send. As the kids say these days.
I need
Do
proof
they
that
say
Gene
that?
actually
Oh,
rides
man.
that ride, because I've been with Gene many a time in the park, and he has never ridden it when I was with him. So I need actual
That is
proof
not true.
that you've ridden it. I'm just saying.
True.
How many times have you been to Epcot together, Gene?
How many times do you ever tell the truth? That's what I want to know.
I'm telling the truth to know
You can't
that
handle the
we've
truth.
been together
Man.
at least 6 or 7 times at Epcot, and I haven't seen you step foot in Mission Space once.
Because we're trying to freaking get to Dinosaur or something like that,
Why are you so angry, man? What is going on with you? You okay?
Let
It's
him
part of his
feel his
game.
feelings.
I mean, get it all out so the healing can begin. What else is you got pent up in there? Is it dinosaur? Show me on this doll where dinosaur hurt you.
Oh boy. Okay.
We need Jody back so bad.
Yeah, we do.
Back on
We need
track.
adult supervision.
We need somebody to help, hit us when we get out of line. Oh gosh. Okay, so we've got Kevin, we did Lonnie, we did Gene. What about John? That's me. I'm gonna go with the land because it's amazing. It's so cool to see like some of the innovation and farming and just how they're working to use resources more efficiently. Like even just they have the thing with the fish in it where the fish poops, fertilizes.
Aquaculture.
Yeah. And it's like the fish will eat the roots of the plants and the leaves that fall, whatever, and then they poop it out, and then that fertilizes more plants. And it's just, I don't know, just stuff like that, and some of the vertical growing techniques. It's just really cool. So I really enjoy that one. And it gets you out of the heat for a little bit, which is nice. And you just sit there, and that was another one that Jeff and I rode together.
It was.
Is that how the kids do it these days? But no, it's just the music, everything. I don't know. I really enjoy it. So that's mine. Jeff, what about you?
All right. I'm torn between 2, and my reason for the 2 are very similar reasons. I am a big fan of the old Epcot music. I love the old loops. I love the old soundtracks. And the one I don't know that you can really consider an attraction, but you can hear the Epcot background loops, the old music inside the bathroom by Figment. So I don't think I can really go with that as being my attraction.
Your favorite attraction is
Is the bathroom by
The
Figment?
men's bathroom.
The best bathroom by I didn't think you guys would let that one fly.
That
So,
bathroom
well,
was pretty interesting during the half marathon this year. There were people from every background in that bathroom during the race.
What were they doing, Kevin? Expand on that.
There were men and women in there. It was crazy.
Yes, they were. I think we call one lady walking in there, and when all the guys gasped, she says, "Get over it."
Yeah,
She went.
yeah.
well, you can't blame her. You gotta go. You gotta go.
Gotta go.
and that's why it could be considered a top attraction. But without the bathroom being on my list, I'm going to go with Epcot Forever. I am so glad they brought that back from Harmonious. I did not like Harmonious. I don't think that Epcot is the place that you need to be shoving IP music down your throats the whole time. I think it needs to be original stuff. It needs to be all the original IP or the old attractions, the old music that made Epcot popular back in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. And Epcot Forever does a really good job with that. I don't necessarily enjoy the little girl that's singing at the beginning of it, but you take some, you lose some with it. But I love the old music and I love the show, and I think it's very underrated.
I haven't seen it, and I did like Harmonious though, but I wanted to see Epcot Forever because of the same reasons. And I like finding those old Epcot loops on YouTube and stuff. They're really, it makes you feel good.
Yep.
Wow. All right. Well, while you were talking, Jeff, since you mentioned the bathroom, I'm going to go for a second one at Epcot and just say the Norway bathrooms. Those things are amazing. They're always clean. They're not busy. It's got a nice little covered area for you to be able to sit and like relax for a few minutes with the picnic tables, and you can get a Viking coffee. I mean, come on. It's amazing. That's a really cool attraction. And bonuses, if you have my young son Crosby with you, he will provide some waterworks as you're changing his diaper, which he did last time, which was nice. Yeah. So I mean, it was also a water ride. So it's quite the attraction. But yeah, no, it's the perfect one. Now I hope there's not a big rush there, because that's our family's like secret bathroom. All right. Any others for Epcot?
Not for me.
Okay. All right. So that brings us through all of the parks on our underrated series for attractions. And next up is our favorite part of the show, which is quacking up with the ducks. So, Jeff, are you going to make us laugh?
Probably not, but I'm going to say something anyway. So why did the chocolate chip cookie go to the doctor? He was feeling crummy.
Oh.
Nice. All right. Kevin, can you make us laugh?
So my wife's a nurse, so she'll appreciate this one. So why do nurses have so many red crayons? Sometimes they have to draw blood.
That was a good one. All right, Lonnie.
Where do fruits go on vacation?
I don't know.
Paris.
I
know it's bad.
That's not one of your best, but I still laugh.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not.
But yeah, Kevin, that's right. That's what makes it good. Oh man. Gene, I know you usually don't have a joke, but anything fun going on?
No, I was just, you guys know that I'm into like the latest, the trendiest stuff, and one of the things that I want to share with you is that corduroy and especially corduroy pillows are a hot thing right now. I mean, they're really making headlines.
Can you explain corduroy to some of our younger listeners?
No, corduroys are back, dude.
Oh, they're back. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Kara has a few pairs of them. And she's like a, trendy 13-year-old.
I was unaware.
They're the pants that make noise.
Yeah.
When you walk.
Yeah. Oh, man. One of my best friends is he's a CRNA, so like a certified nurse, registered nurse anesthetist. So it made me think of, like, what did the surgeon say when the man asked if he could do his own anesthesia? He said, "Sure, knock yourself out."
Ah.
Oh boy. Well, boy, that was not a great joke to end us with there tonight. But jokes aside, if you are listening this long and you like what you're hearing, please go over and give us a 5-star review on your podcatcher where you get your podcasts from. Go over there, give us 5 stars. Please just tell us what we're doing right, what you like, and we can try to do more of that. And tell some of your friends about us. So if you have any Disney questions or you just want to join the group, we are Disney with the Ducks on Facebook. So there's a group there that you can join, and we're building a pretty cool little community where people post pictures and answer questions and all kind of stuff. So come join us over there and give us your ratings and your reviews. 5 stars, please, preferably. I know Jeff brings it down a little bit, but the rest of us try to make up for that.
I feel bad, John, because we've had a good run of 5-star reviews here lately, or people just leaving 5 stars. The day after my first episode that I've been back on dropped, somebody left us a 1 star. So I think it had to be all me. So
Yeah.
I apologize. We're probably going to get more. Sorry.
Man, are you serious? Somebody give us a 1 star?
Yeah,
1
they
star.
did.
What did they say?
What did they
No
say?
comments. It's just a 1 star, but I'm pretty sure it's because of me. I'm sorry, guys.
I doubt
Jeff.
it. It's probably because of Lonnie.
Okay. Well, with that, I'll just say Kwaharini.
Have a good night, everybody.
Word.
Bye, everybody.
See y'all.
Killing me.
We're not gonna cancel you. It's all right, dude.
I
That's
cut
got
it
us
out.
covered.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Nobody will know besides us. But we know.
Oh my god.
Nobody knows except us and the outtakes.
And they didn't even make the outtakes. I let them.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's not something we want to put in there.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
Oh man. I got my notes. I did not print them out.
Oh,
You
I
didn't?
have them on my phone. They say
No,
I
you
did
did.
work.
No, you did not. No, you did.
So yeah, the era you would want to live in is definitely 2022, 3. Because then you can write your notes. We don't have fax machines anymore. The future is wild.
The first thing you tell them, Jeff.
You know how little I got going for me right now? Do you see me? I mean, there's like nothing going for me here, guys. Come on.